Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Derek Martinez. The annual Chips Trot and Brew was held on Saturday, August 17th in Cunningham. The annual event is a 1.5-mile novelty race where participants travel through the streets of Cunningham into each of the 6 designated spots, purchase a draft beer or soda, and continue to the finish line. The event is a collaboration between Chips and the Helping Hand Society, as both organizations raise money to help families and children with disabilities. Marketing coordinator of the Helping Hand Society, Angelina Sciano de Cola, spoke with us before the race about the turnout from the community.
We have almost 400 people registered, so we have a lot of people, signing up day of, pre-registered, and it seems like a lot of people have their own little teams, and it's just going to be a super fun event soon, and it seems like the weather is still holding up for us.
After the race, we caught up with Anthony Yacina, one of the first place recipients, about his experience at the Trot and Brew.
This is my first time doing a Trot and Brew. I've done a few just for fun, just to see what I could do. But no, it's my first proper one, and probably won't be my last now. It's a good time.
Yacina also told us how important fundraisers like this are for the community.
I think all of these causes are good support. I mean, we saw the little kid beforehand, just the pure emotion out of him, how thankful he was for us to be here. And I think that it just speaks volumes to see him here in front of us. And we're directly helping him out and everyone else around. So I think that's just good to support that.
Proceeds from the Trot and Brew will go to the Helping Hand Society. Former President Donald Trump hosted a rally in Wilkes-Barre Township this weekend on Saturday, August 17th. The rally was held at the Mohegan Sun Arena at Casey Plaza. Thousands of supporters packed in front of the arena from the early hours of the morning, with several vendors selling merchandise for fans of the former president. The rally was Trump's 5th visit to Wilkes-Barre since 2016. PA State Representative Dane Watrow and Senator Dave Argel will be hosting a license plate replacement event on Tuesday, August 20th. The event will take place from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Hazel Township Commons building located at 101 West 27th Street in Hazel Township. During the event, a Pennsylvania State Trooper will be on site to inspect license plates and sign application forms. The event is free and open to the public. Anyone interested in attending is asked to RSVP by calling 570-773-0891. Coming up on WYLN News, the Partysville Cruise Night returns to Hazel Township. Plus, a man is wanted by the Carbon County Sheriff's Office. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Lehigh Valley Health Network and Jefferson Health have come together, 2 leading health systems dedicated to improving the well-being of our communities and offering you a broader access to uncompromising high-quality care, stronger together for you.
My name is Andy, and tomorrow's going to be partly cloudy.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today. If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Cheers Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in at 610 North Broad Street in West Hazleton, 570-454-7229. Cheers is proud to be celebrating 70 years in business.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Watch PTN on WYLN.
WYLN TV 35 is expanding and is on the hunt for a dynamic salesperson to join our vibrant team. If you've got the passion and the drive, we want to hear from you. Send your resume to the email displayed on your screen. Don't miss this great opportunity.
This week on Let's Talk Chiropractic, I'm going to be all by myself. I'm going to entitle this show Confessions of a Chiropractor. I want you to get behind the scenes, see what I see. So stay tuned. I will make it as good as I can of a show for you.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35.
Welcome back to WYLN News. The Partysville Cruise Night was held once again on Saturday, August 17th at the Partysville Playground in Hazel Township. This is the third year that the Cruise Night has been held, featuring several events including a car show, live entertainment, food vendors, and fun activities for all ages. Over 30 prizes and awards were also given out for different categories as part of the Cruise Night. Despite the spotty weather, many still came out to the event, and Partysville Cruise Night President Ron Seamon told us that he was happy with the turnout.
Better than expected, actually. We have a better turnout than we expected, but fortunately a couple of hours ago the weather has been changing and improving and the chance of showers has lessened. So that's a good thing, and I think that's helping bring the cars out a little bit.
Seamon also told us that the tricky trays have become a very popular part of the Cruise Night.
The tricky tray sales, the raffle baskets, they're just growing and growing every year. Our first year we had 82 of them. Last year we had 164, I believe. And this year I think we're around 176. So it just keeps climbing every year, and a lot of people love the chance to win something, you know, a raffle basket of some sort. So that's always a big fan favorite, so to say, at the event.
Several new additions were featured at the Cruise Night this year, including a pool skirt contest and the Pennies from Heaven Loose Change campaign for the late Steve Clark, who was a great friend to Seamon and the rest of the Cruise Night committee.
He was a good friend of ours, and he helped us promote this event every year. We lost him last year, shortly after last year's event, and we're doing a Pennies from Heaven campaign here in the pavilion. We're asking people that could spare any loose change in any denomination to throw it in our jar, and we're going to try and fill it with our jar and put that towards our two causes that we're here for today.
Half of the proceeds from the Cruise Night will go to the American Cancer Society, with the other half going to Northeast Counseling Services Hazleton for suicide awareness and prevention programs.
Our group feels very strong about both causes. Many of our committee members have been affected by one or the other, and that is why we support both of them so much, and they're so near and dear to our hearts.
The third annual Partysville Cruise Night was held from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. in Hazel Township. A man is wanted by the Carbon County Sheriff's Office. Benny Gonzalez is wanted on multiple DUI charges and for resisting arrest. He is known to have ties to the Easton area. Anyone with information regarding his whereabouts is asked to contact the Carbon County Sheriff's Office at 570-325-2821. The Wilkes-Barre VA Medical Center is seeking volunteers for its Veterans Transportation Network. The volunteer-based transport program works to provide safe and reliable transportation to veterans who require assistance traveling to and from the Wilkes-Barre VA Medical Center. The program is currently recruiting drivers in the Jim Thorpe, Scranton, Tamaqua, Williamsport, and Wilkes-Barre areas. All volunteer drivers must have a valid driver's license, a good driving record, and automobile insurance. Volunteers will also need to pass a medical evaluation and register as a VA volunteer. For additional information, you can contact the Center for Development and Civic Engagement Office at 570-821-7237. Coming up on Hazelton's News Choice, Chris Fulmer leads us down the path through history with Benton Part 1. Plus, we join Luzerne County Manager Romildo Krogamo on Krogamo's County Report. And stay right here on WYLN. We'll be right back.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Hey! Did you know WYLN posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network.
Are you looking for a trustworthy publishing company to publish your book? One that understands the process and upholds Christian values in its business practices?
Introducing Covenant Books, an author-friendly publisher who shares your beliefs and wants to publish your story. Call us today to get a free author packet to help get you started.
We realize your book is unique, personal, and written with a higher purpose. That's the content we're looking for.
We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process with professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the industry.
Covenant distributes and sells your book online and in bookstores everywhere. We convert your book in ebook format and sell it on Amazon, Apple iTunes, and to these distributors. Our authors love us.
So if you've written a biography, a devotional, a memoir, self-help, or any genre, we can help. Be like these authors and get your book published and sold today.
Call right now for your free writer's guide.
1-800-215-3680.
Attention, WYLN viewers. WYLN TV can now be seen on the Hazelton Service Electric Cablevision HD tier, channel 507, and over the air at 35.1. WYLN, we're your local network. When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network. A Path Through History is sponsored by the Old Jail Museum, 128 West Broad Street in Jim Thorpe. Call 570-325-5259 or visit them online at theoldjailmuseum.com.
The land of northern Columbia County was originally registered as one of several tracts throughout the eventual state of Pennsylvania that was reserved for the Penn family. A manor stood in the land with the name Putney Common. The first settler to buy up land in the area was Benjamin Coleman, who founded what will later be known as the Laubach Farm in 1792. Jonathan Colley would be another early settler, as would the McHenry, Hess, and Laubach families. The first school in the area was opened by Isaac Young in 1799, once there were enough children in the area for one to function. Slowly, a small farming community started to form around Fishing Creek. Although for the first few decades of its existence, it would be a sleepy hamlet that did not at first appear to grow much. The new community's biggest business would take root in the early 1800s. Its genesis came from John McHenry, who was born September 17, 1785, and is sometimes claimed to have been the first European child born in the Fishing Creek Valley. He would come to be known as Hunter John in his later years, as he bragged he had killed over 4,000 deer in his life, starting at age 13, a total he kept track of by notching hickory sticks they hung over his fireplace. In addition to hunting, McHenry was also good at making rye whiskey. In 1812, he went into business selling it in the area, and soon became quite popular among regional drinkers. The youngest of McHenry's 9 children with the former Helena Cutler was Rohr McHenry, born in 1829 and named for Prussian Frederick Rohr, who had fled to America after facing Napoleon on the battlefield in Europe. The younger McHenry became a prominent landowner in the area, founding the village of Rohrsburg, and after his father's death in 1868, Rohr took over and expanded Hunter John's whiskey business, moving from the still house on the family property into a larger commercial factory. What was by then known as the Rohr McHenry Whiskey Distillery became the largest employer in northern Columbia County, producing 100 barrels a day of Old Rohr whiskey, which was claimed to be able to cure snake bites and other ailments. In addition to operating the distillery, Rohr McHenry would also serve 2 terms as a Columbia County Commissioner. Slowly but surely, a village started forming around the McHenry Distillery. By 1850, it was ready to be officially incorporated. The name chosen for the community, Benton, was in honor of prominent Missouri Senator Thomas Hart Benton, then completing his 5th and final term in the U.S. Senate. Benton was a strong champion of westward expansion of the nascent United States, and despite owning his own slaves, he came to be a strong opponent of slavery, a stance for which Benton was almost shot at on the Senate floor by Mississippi Senator Henry Foote in April 1850. It appears Benton never did get to visit the community that was named in his honor. The town of Benton, though, was well in place by then, with a church, a schoolhouse, a sawmill, and a tavern having sprouted up. The post office opened for business in 1852, with Daniel Hartman, who had opened the first store in town, as the first postmaster. Timbering would take root north of Benton as a major industry starting around 1860. Soon the battle over slavery that Thomas Hart Benton had fought in the Senate's chambers would spell out across the wider United States, turning north against south. Within each section, however, there would be some divisions. Columbia County at that time voted largely Democratic, and thus was basically opposed to the policies of Republican Abraham Lincoln. Thus, many in the county were opposed to being drafted to fight in a war they did not see as necessary. Despite draft rules that every man between ages 20 and 45 registered for the Union Army, draft dodging and desertion became common in Columbia County during the Civil War. By one count, 75% of those drafted in the county in June 1864 failed to report for duty. Tensions ran high throughout Columbia County during this time, heightened when a Union officer was shot not far from Benton on Raven Creek in the summer of 1864. By then, rumors had started circulating that draft dodgers and Southern sympathizers were building a stone fort in the area on North Mountain near Fishing Creek, and that the supposed defenders were prepared to resist federal authority by force with cannons. And so, on July 30th, 1864, a small Union force led by Lieutenant James Stewart Robinson entered Benton Township to search for draft dodgers. After unsuccessfully looking for several other drafters, they came to the farm of Thomas Smith. Smith fled into his cornfield and soon joined by other local deserters. Shots were fired between the forces, with it not being clear which side had fired first, and in the melee Robinson was hit. He would pass on from his wounds several months later. His force gave pursuit to the deserters, but turned back without apprehending anyone. By August, federal troops under the command of Major General Darius Crouch began amassing at Bloomsburg, and sent out an ultimatum that any draft dodgers that report to Bloomsburg by August 20th would receive a pardon. The following day, 1,000 troops started marching up Fishing Creek to arrest as many deserters as they could. While a group of about 75 men in Benton were at first determined to resist what they saw as a federal invasion, they instead turned and fled when they realized they were facing a force too big to defeat. The troops marched throughout northern Columbia County through the end of August, and close to 100 anti-war suspects were taken to Benton, where they were initially detained in a church before being taken to Philadelphia for incarceration at that city's Fort Mifflin. And of those arrested, most were released from custody within 8 months, and most of those that were convicted were eventually pardoned. By December 1864, federal troops left Columbia County, bringing to an end the saga of the so-called Fishing Creek Confederacy.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Tune in and see all the unique places to stay and things to do in the Pocono Mountains. Watch PTN on WYLN.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. Like and follow WYLN News on Facebook for the WYLN News Midday Update, posted daily between noon and 2 p.m., powered by Lehigh Valley Health Network. When it's serious, there's only one health network with seriously innovative health institutes. Lehigh Valley Health Network, your health deserves a partner.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Crocomo's County Report. And today I have Luzerne County Controller Walter Griffin here with us. Good morning, good afternoon,
well,
good
afternoon,
evening.
County Manager. It's a pleasure to be here in Hazleton and speaking to the people.
Good, I'm glad you're here. I know there's a few things that we want to talk about, and the first is basically how Luzerne County, with your assistance, have become trendsetters.
Well, the first thing that we've done under your leadership, based on the trying to save money for the county, was we put in a unified time and attendance system as well as a payroll system. The second thing that we did an audit of the escheat funds, which is an escheat fund is a check that was issued to someone and that was never cashed. And it comes back to the county as they call it a stale check. Mm-hmm. And so under your leadership, we did an audit of the escheat process, and we found that we had a couple $100,000 worth of the cheated funds. We did the steps to contact the Department of State and the Department of Treasury, and we're being trendsetters because now, as we all saw in the news just recently, the Department of Treasury has made a giant step into saying people who are owed less than $500 mm-hmm. can get it without a lot of jumping through hoops and paperwork to be filed. It's clearly their money. Mm-hmm. So they expedited the process based on what we were doing in Luzerne County. So when we did the $5 fee process and we pushed the Treasury Department to give their people their $5 back quicker, that prompted the treasurer, which is Stacy Garrity, mm-hmm. to change the process. And so I think we're making great strides in at least showing people where their shortcomings are and try and make things more efficient.
Right, and to provide better services for our residents, yep. Correct?
Correct.
And
Correct.
We work together on that, and I'm really happy that it's working out. Controller, you've been in county politics for a long time,
sure.
And you were part of the Government Study Commission about 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Do you have any comments about our recent study commission?
Yes, and I was at the council meeting on Tuesday night, and I heard the issues that the Government Study Commission people raised about being independent and the need for them to have their own bank account. Even though I can certainly appreciate their desire to have control of their money, our charter doesn't allow it, number one. But more importantly, we have a fiduciary responsibility to residents of this county to be sure that our money is spent appropriately and spent in the best way possible. They're doing a bidding process and all of those things. We would not micromanage the Government Study Commission any more than we would micromanage the Sheriff's Office or anybody else. The county has about 50 or 60 bank accounts, independent bank accounts, apart from our general fund. Those bank accounts are all separate bank accounts, but we don't allow the sheriff to have his name on a bank account, and we don't allow the prothonotary to have their name on a bank account. We have separate bank accounts for the tracking of expenses, budgetary process, but we do not allow people to have control of the county taxpayers' money. And the Government Study Commission made the statement that they want control of $75,000 of our money, and then we have not that we would have oversight over how they spend it, but we have oversight over the taxpayers' money to make sure that it's being tracked properly, being accounted for properly, it's going through our accounting system properly, and all of those things that we have a responsibility to do. Our people who elected me as the controller, as well as puts the county council in a position where they appointed you as the manager. So we have a very, very
fiduciary
responsibility. And our auditors will definitely come in if we don't have oversight over that money, and they would probably put a finding on our audit report saying that we didn't have control over money that was the taxpayers' money.
Right, and just to be clear, it's only 3 members of that commission. It's Vito Malakari, Cindy Malcolmus, and
Mark Schaefer.
It's only 3. There's 7 on the commission, and there are just the 3 that are talking about that they're not being allowed to be independent.
Right, and to be quite honest, I mean, the county's been more than fair with the Government Study Commission since they've been elected. The county's given them free reins to the county council chambers. They've given them free reins to our secretary for council. They've given them free reins to our sheriff's department, who provides security for their meetings. Free rein to our IT department that runs their meetings and gives them Zoom access for the people the county can see it. And we're not doing it because we want to do favors for the study commission. We're doing it for transparency.
Correct.
And so if we didn't want to be transparent on that side, why would they even think that we didn't want to be transparent on how they spend their money? I just think it's on its face. It just seems to me that some members of the study commission just don't understand the process.
Right. I think it's a little weird.
I do. I think it's very weird, and I think there's some people that, number one, they don't know what our charter is. And I understand they're saying that the government study law says that they have control of the money, and we're not saying they don't have control of the money.
Right.
They've got a budgetary line item by council. They've gotten X amount of dollars. They can spend it any way they want. We're not going to go in and tell them you can't spend it on X, Y, or Z. All we're saying is you only have $75,000 to spend. When you need more, you have to come and get more. That's all.
All right. Well, you'll be hearing about this for a while. The Government Study Commission is in full swing and having regular meetings. And I will have our controller back on soon. And I want to wish everyone a safe and peaceful evening.
You're watching WYLN TV 35,